Hi, it's Alex here. Today my last video is going to be on crop rotation, and it's going to explain what it is, who invented it, what are the advantages, and why it's bad. What are some rotation methods? What are some examples of rotation or crop rotation? Where crop rotation is practiced, and what is 3 years of crop rotation, and what is the 4 crop rotations? Is crop rotation still used today? How did crop rotation change society? Can crop rotation cause erosion? And what will happen if if the same crop is growing again and again on the same field without any crop rotations? So, what crop rotation is, it is a practice of growing series of different types of crops in the same area across the sequence of the growing season. It reduces the support on one set of nutrients, pest and weed pressure, and the changes of the developing resistance of pests and weeds. So, it is something that we do to make sure that lots of nutrients go back into the soil after it's been seeded on, and then we change up the next seed for the next year. So then there's lots of different nutrients that are being put in and taken out. Who invented crop rotation? An agricultural chemist, George Washington Carver, developed crop rotation methods for conserving nutrients in the soil and discovering hundreds of new uses for crops such as the peanut and the sweet potato. He was born of slave parents in the Diamond Grove, Massachusetts. I can't even talk. Carver recently had his early education in Massachusetts and in Kansas. What are the advantages of crop rotation? A crop rotation can help manage your soil and fertilize, reduce erosion, improve your soil health, and increase nutrients available for your crop. Why is crop rotation bad? There are major enemies. There are major enemies to the crops as they bring competition of the nutrients. Crop rotation thus reduces the population of the weed, or better yet, denies them opportunity to grow. This, in the long run, will allow the farmers not to use tillage on the ground, as it is a harmful technique of weeding management to the soil structure. What is crop rotation's method? Crop rotation is a practice of planting different crops on the same plot of land to improve soil health, optimize nutrient in the soil, and combat pest and weed pressure. For example, when a farmer has to plant on his cornfield, then he'll want to plant oats the next year. Some examples of crop rotation are: year 1 would be corn, and then year 2 oats with mixed ligament and grass hayseed. Year 3, 4, and 5 mixed grass. Year 6 and 7 is a pasture, and then back to year 1, it'll be oats, and then year 1 is corn, and then year 2 is oats. Year 3 to 8, it would be a pasture. So putting it as a pasture would give more nutrients to it, because when the manure is a good fertilizer to the soil, so it'll help it grow better for the next year to come. So it's better to have it for pasture for a long time, so then all the manure kind of sinks into the soil. Where is crop rotation practiced? Crop rotation is commonly practiced on sloping soils. Because of the potential of soil saving, crop rotation can be used to improve or maintain good physical, chemical, and biological conditions of the soil. They can use to be reduce the average rate of erosion in a field. What is the 3-year crop rotation? The basics is the standard, this is the basic standard crop rotation favored by many farmers because of the simplicity. The problem with the crop rotation system is that it assumes you will be growing lots of roots, potatoes, and balsam. So if you do the 3-year rotation, it might be harder to grow some things because of the roots in the ground. So when you're making your garden, it would be really hard to put your stuff in your oats or in your soil. What is 4 crop rotation? The sequence of 4 crop would be wheat, trumpet, barley, and clover. Included a foot crop and grazing crop, allowing livestock to be bred all year round. The 4-field crop rotation became a key development in British agriculture revolution. The rotation between Arbonne and Lea is sometimes called Lea farming. Is crop rotation still used today? Crop rotation and the use of clover crops have been around for a long time, and many farmers today are incorporating these techniques as a part of the modern agriculture practices. They result in the harvest of benefits for both farmers and the environment. So, yes, it still is used today, and since back then we have improved crop rotation so much that we start trying to figure out more things to do with crop rotation. How did crop rotation change society? Though some modern farmers will occasionally allow fields to lie fallow to rest, but crop rotation has helped to increase productivity in replacing the fallow periods with the growing different of crops that replenish soil nutrients. The crop rotation also helps to battle against forces of erosion. Can crop rotation cause erosion? Rotating in high residue crops, such as corn, hay, and small grain, can reduce erosion as a layer of residue protects the topsoil from being carried away by the wind and water. The upkeep of tillaging produces a smooth surface that leaves soil vulnerable to erosion. So yeah, it can, but that's only if you start tilling it. So if you don't need to till anything, I wouldn't. You shouldn't be, because then it will cause erosion. What will happen if the same crop is growing again on the same field with no crop rotation? If a farmer continues to grow on the same field after year, then the nutrients and the minerals in the soil will be exhausted. And as soon as they're exhausted, they'll run out, and then there will be nothing in your field. The soil will lose the fertility, and it will no longer be suitable to grow good quality crops. Leave the soil in the barns for some time so it will restore its nutrients again. So you always want to make sure that you are doing crop rotation, because if you don't do crop rotation, or if something close to crop rotation, then you won't kill your whole field, and it won't be such a hassle to have to wait for a couple, it'll probably be like 10 years, until your soil actually gets back to good again. So you always want to be able to make sure that you're not overusing your fields, so then you can have more fields for the next year coming. Yeah.